one of the biggest stories of the year was DJ Carey, Kevin. Why was there such massive interest in the DJ Carey story? It was one of the most listened to Indo Daily podcasts that we did.
Of all time.
Okay. Great way to start, a humble brag. Go on then, Kevin.
It was massive. And do you know why it was massive, Tabitha? Because for people of a certain generation, actually multiple generations, DJ Carey was a star before we had influencers, before people could become famous for being on reality television shows. DJ Carey was a hurler in the 90s, in the early noughties, who basically everybody in the country knew his name. And they knew it because he had 5 All-Irelands, because he had 9 All-Stars, because he was, as they say nowadays, the GOAT, the greatest of all time. And to think that somebody who had it all, that we all believed in, even I'm from Offaly, did not like DJ Carey, but really respected DJ Carey. He ruined many a childhood summer for me. But to think that he could tell the lie, and the lie was that he had brain cancer. Like, of all the things you could come up with in the world to tell, and not just tell, sustain for years, and to take money off people over that long period of time, I think people genuinely found that shocking, and it takes a huge amount, I think, to shock people in the 2025 world that we've been living in. But the story of DJ Carey, I think, really shocked people. And
I think some of the personal stories of people who donated money to DJ Carey, I think, stuck with people, particularly after the court case. You know, there was a lot of personal stories, people saying, you know, my mother had cancer, I really wanted to help him, who respected him like that. What impact do you think the DJ Carey story has had, if any, on the GAA or sport in Ireland?
Well, I find that fascinating, and it's something we talked to Colm Keys on that special 3-part podcast that we did about DJ Carey, about how would the GAA world react to that, because sometimes it does feel like there's a bit of a code of omerta there, that, you know, they don't speak ill of their own, and I think that's still there. While most people obviously have condemned and do condemn DJ Carey for what he did, there's still sympathy. And you kind of hear it in trickles. They're not maybe appearing on the 6 o'clock news to go give DJ a break. But certainly when you talk to people out there in the GAA world, there's still a level of sympathy for how did he end up here? Kind of, Jesus, sure, you know, it all got out of hand. That kind of thing. And I think that is still there. So while most people are rightly outraged, I think at the back of it, we probably haven't heard the last of DJ Carey either.
Yeah, Tessa, you play GAA. What was the reaction in the GAA community to the revelations?
I think it was just utter disbelief that, you know, he had the gall to not only lie, but then go out and spend this money out in America on the golf courses and upload photos to Facebook, and just seem to be able to go on with the lie so easily. It didn't seem to cause him any sort of difficulty in his life to do that. So I think just to have that sense of betrayal, and I think it did leave a lot of people very, very angry, and we even saw that in this year's All-Ireland final, and the Kilkenny team of 2000 were being honoured. It was their 25th Jubilee, and they were being called out. Now, DJ Carey wasn't there on the day, but when they called out his name, the whole crowd booed, and I think that really, I suppose, illustrated just the anger and the sense of betrayal. But then as well, I would agree with you that there is still a sense of sympathy that people have, and I think it's of maybe people of a certain vintage or a certain cohort of people that, like, I grew up watching DJ Carey through the 90s and the early noughties, and like, I remember him playing the speed of him and the socks pulled up, and the first 3 minutes he'd always be going for goal, and he was like, he was a god. He was an absolute god. I'm from Monaghan, not a hurling county, and even like, and it wasn't even just people in the sporting kind of world, it was everybody knew DJ Carey. And I think people that would have admired him back then, and it wasn't even just admiring him on the pitch, it was admiring him off the pitch as well, because he did give his time. He would go to fundraisers, he'd go to medal presentations, he'd give his time quite freely, and I think people really bought into that as well. He wasn't a dirty player, so he was to be admired on and off the pitch. So I think that while, yes, people would be wary of him, but I think there is a certain cohort of people that would give him the time of day still and would be very sympathetic towards him. But I think within, I suppose, the wider sporting community, it was utter disbelief that a god of his ilk could fall to such an extent.
I suppose, Tabitha, he's spending Christmas behind bars, so it'll be 5 years before he's back out there to see how that really plays out. And will that passage of time change attitudes, or will he get a book out of his time in prison? I think one thing that really confused people was that DJ was a celebrity when there wasn't loads of celebrities in Ireland. So he could have had his own training gear. He could have had his own hurling academy. He could have lended his name to be a car ambassador and different things. So there was loads of ways, people perceive that there were loads of ways he could have had a good lifestyle without resorting to what he did, which was effectively his full-time job, pulling off that con.
Taking what you both have said, Tessa, you were saying like the anger and the disbelief, but then also the sympathy that you both say that is out there for him. Do you think he can make a comeback after the 5 years?
I suspect that there's a tell-all in DJ somewhere, because he is destroyed. His legacy is destroyed by this. He will now, when people talk about DJ, this is the first thing that will come up before 5 All-Irelands, and there's not very many people who have 5 All-Irelands. Is there a comeback? I think that's probably too much, but dare I say it, Tabitha, could you see a world where he's appearing on Celebrity Traitors in the future? I probably could.